Hi, I'm Andrew.
I'm Daniel.
And this is Filmcraft doing another Filmcraft review of Split. Okay, so this movie's been all over the place, and man, did it take us forever to actually review this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Split is the newest, I can't believe I'm saying this, M. Night Shyamalan movie about 3 teenage girls that have been abducted by a man with multiple personality disorders, 24 of them in fact. And it's about them and their daring escape from this man's house, or wherever the hell he's actually kidnapped them.
Right, that is true.
And trying to figure out which ones of his personalities are trying to kill them and which ones can actually help them get out. What, Shyamalan's actually had kind of a comeback lately, I would give it.
Yeah, I could say, you could say that. You could say his most recent adaptations. I honestly think he's trying to atone for all the backlash he's gotten from the Avatar movie.
It's kind of, the way that it works with Shyamalan is like, someone brought this up online, is that the less money you give him to work with a movie, the better it will be. So you give him like $20 and send him out and Lowe's and Walmart and everyone's going to win an Oscar. Right? So is that, Shyamalan works best whenever he does what he did with this movie, do an original concept sort of based on some pre-existing kind of mediums, because you felt a lot of Hitchcockian in this one, like going old school mental disorder kind, which, you know, we can't really talk about that without talking about the backlash that it's getting. Everyone in the universe on the internet is just getting all over this movie about its horrendous portrayal of people with a legitimate medical condition, a mental disorder.
I honestly feel that it brings awareness to the disorder, myself.
Yeah, and people actually suffering through it. Like, I get it, they add a supernatural element, a serial killer element, but the thing people are suddenly forgetting is that nearly every villain from every movie ever made suffered from some kind of mental disorder, whether it's a social disorder, a psychological disorder, some kind of psychosis, personality disorder, something. They suffered from something, and this one's no exception. So this movie starts off with I gotta super give it to James McAvoy.
Oh my god! And
portraying the nuance of every single one of these individual personalities, which I don't really understand why they said 24, because they only showed like less than 10.
That is true.
They only showed like 8, I think it was like 8. They showed like 8 personalities, but man, his fluidic movement between each one of these personalities was haunting. Honestly,
this movie really showed the range that James McAvoy has, especially with the fact that he had to literally just Norbit, as I call it, the entirety of his.
God.
I mean, if you think about it, that's what he did. He Norbited the entirety of his personality.
That is the worst comparison ever. We have our main female lead, played by Anya Taylor-Joy. The 2 side girls that you don't really care about in this movie, and you're not really going to care about who actually plays them. So the main focus is really going to be James McAvoy as Kevin Wendell Crumb, the one who has the multiple personality disorders. You got Anya Taylor-Joy as the primary girl who was kidnapped, and you got Betty Buckley, who plays a psychiatrist. It's really the 3 of those kind of playing amongst each other through the course of this movie. That they are powerhouse actors in this.
Absolutely.
You buy so much of Betty Buckley's concern with people who have this disorder, and this guy himself with what he might be doing with the disorder that he has. You buy the ever-loving hell out of Anya Taylor-Joy's journey, like her struggle to survive, and her trying to do completely different than what the other girls who got kidnapped are doing, which is trying to actually like move like a hunter.
Absolutely.
Like, figure out her prey.
And that's what I like to see in movies. I like when they decide to
Hashtag not sponsored.
Hashtag not sponsored. I like to see when they make characters smart. Well, because most times they take female characters and they try to like over actionize them, over sexualize them, and it's like, no, I want to see smart characters, not just like, oh no.
And you had to really say that that really added with like the actual suspense of this movie, which leaves me like one of my biggest positives, like the writing and suspense of this whole movie, just of their journey to try to make it out of this man's housing. It's just like it hit you over and over again, and it just never let up. You were so enveloped in these characters' interactions between each other, and see who was going to win and how they were going to make it out, who was going to live, who was going to die. I was just really full into it. Like, I seriously can't believe I'm saying this, but the writing in this Shyamalan movie was freaking great.
Mark it on your calendars, everybody.
God.
Andrew is giving positive feedback about a Shyamalan movie.
Right.
I will also say that a good positive aspect of the movie is the cinematography.
That was gonna be a big thing. That's always been probably the best thing that Shyamalan's ever had, and even in some of his shittier movies, bleepier movies, he's had like a really strong grasp of cinematography. Like The Village, I hate The Village. I really do. It screws the pooch in so many ways.
Without a doubt, it's one of the wonders movies.
But man, was it a gorgeous movie! In this one, like every frame of this movie looked like a painting. This there was so just great lighting and great set designs, and just really gave into the atmosphere of every single individual scene that had different tones with the setting, the set design, with the use of camera tricks, and the thematic lighting they had, and the clear crystal view you had of every single object of importance in these scenes, and the framing of every single important aspect of the scene.
The use of thirds. The use of thirds was very well done.
Yeah.
Like everything was kind of set to where it was very clear cut. It had its place. Everything had its place. It was placed everywhere it had.
And then we got to talk about the ending. Like
absolutely,
this leads to one of the biggest and like the most intense showdowns between two major characters that I've seen in just about any movie. It is your heart is beating and pumping at everything that's being done. Like her trying to survive. Her trying to beat him, like all the stuff that he's saying to her, all the philosophical aspects. Because obviously it's a Shyamalan movie, they're gonna get really overly philosophical, which works in many ways, and adds to like the indie aspect of the movie. But like he gets like really philosophical with her, and she's really like she's really contained with what she's doing, and it hits you so much, and it leads to one epic showdown between these two. It's like it's nail biting some of the scenes. Like he's grabbing onto these two bars and just pulling them apart, gritting his teeth with blood in his mouth. Like Jesus.
I mean, yeah.
It was like an animal.
Considering his state in that scene, I'm pretty surprised he was even able to walk.
Right? But yeah, and then it leads to I seriously can't believe I'm saying this, but a good Shyamalan twist that adds to the movie. That makes the rewatchability of this movie so much better. Now that you know they had two twists in it. Like where it was all taking place in, and the universe it's all taking place in.
Note how Andrew was trying not to aneurysm while he was saying that.
Good.
Okay, but yeah, Andrew's got a point. The twist about where it's at, like once you see where all this is taking place in, you will understand the entirety of the movie. It doesn't leave you really guessing a lot, doesn't really give you, which, can be a positive and a negative. Sometimes you want to get a little mystery involved with what you're doing, but you don't want to be left without closure.
Yeah.
Which this movie has a lot of. Its closure is perfect in a sense. It is, in a sense, perfect.
Alright, so let's talk about negatives.
Go ahead.
I've got a few. For one, the dialogue in this movie would at many times get too expository.
Yes.
Like, that's always been a problem with like every Shyamalan movie, honestly. Like, there's so many moments where they're just saying things that you know is gonna play into sometime. Like, there's this point that really early on that his therapist is talking to him and saying, I also have the ability to say Kevin Wendell Crumb's name and to bring him to the forefront. I was like, wow, that's totally not going to come into play later, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. It foreshadows a lot. It gets really wordy at points.
Yeah.
And it kind of takes away from it a little bit.
Yeah, like overly philosophized. But it doesn't take too much away. But man, does it slow the movie down sometimes? Like this movie does have some pacing problems. Where there's a bunch of moments where things amp up and they simmer down, but they simmer down a little bit too much, especially with the moments where he goes to see his therapist. Like those add up quite a bit, but it does kind of drag, and it doesn't diminish the movie too much, but it does diminish the watchability.
It only takes away a little bit.
Yeah, and I really, unfortunately, gotta say, like probably the biggest problem is the underdevelopment of the other two female characters. You do not care about them at all, one, and two, they really just feel like cannon fodder. Like they feel like they have almost no character whatsoever. So it's like the only ones that actually have any real character are Kevin Wendell Crumb by McAvoy, the female lead, his therapist
Casey.
His therapist Casey, and the two people that are in the female lead, Anya Taylor-Joy's flashbacks.
Oh,
her family. her uncle and her dad and things that what she went through with the two of them, and it's a lot. I don't want to spoil, but it really adds to not only her character but how and why she's doing what she's doing in this movie.
But you're gonna have to go see the movie to find out how that happens.
So overall, I feel like Shyamalan's finally returning to form. I really feel like he's finally actually taken back, sucked in his pride and his anger, and going back to what made him him and what made him great. Is this the best Shyamalan movie? No, but it's definitely the best one he's done in a while, in quite some time.
Yeah.
So overall, I'm actually really excited to see like what's the next movie he's gonna do.
Absolutely.
I cannot wait to see. Can't wait to. I just want to see like a whole Shyamalaniverse. Really? Shyamalanverse rolls off the fucking tongue, doesn't it?
It does. My thoughts on this. I usually do not like suspense.
Excuse me, we already said my thoughts, so anyway, don't care about your thoughts.
Okay, my thoughts. I usually don't like suspense films. I'm gonna go admit it, because I feel like they are just they try to use jump scare too much, which it's cool in a little bit.
He never did a single jump scare in this movie, right?
That is true. He
not
did not do a
one
single
jump scare.
And that is why this movie was good for me. I enjoy the suspense film. I also enjoyed how they kind of tie. I love closure movies. I don't like to think, who could have done it? What were they there? Was it this? Were they that? No, I don't like all that. I want to see clear-cut closure in a suspense movie.
It's like it had a surprise that it actually built up to, legitimately built up to.
Absolutely. And
not just the twist, but the one that they actually set up through the course of the movie as to why the showdown finishes out the way that it does.
And it puts it nice in a nice bow
to
send off into this.
Exactly. So how many split personalities out of 10 would you give it?
I would give it a solid 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10?
8 out of 10.
I would give it 7 split personalities out of 10. Like solid 7.
Absolutely. Alright everybody, we hope you go see Split. It's a really good movie. And that's all we have for this review. I'm Daniel.
I'm Andrew.
And this is Filmcraft.